Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today is the 37th lecture of organic waste industries, and the topic of today's lecture is production of cold cream and bleach cream. You must be very familiar with the cold creams, even if you are not familiar with bleach cream, because bleach cream sometimes people are being selective for bleach cream, but cold cream is very commonly used, especially in winter, because it when our skin gets dry, so we are in need of this cold cream type of things. Anyways, in today's lecture we are going to discuss the cold cream and bleach cream production, or introduction you can say. So we shall start with the introduction, that what are these creams, and then how, what kind of ingredients are in raw materials are involved in this production of these materials, and then we shall see the production, or you can say that after that we shall move to the uses of these bleach cream or cold creams. Alright, let's have a look at what are cold cream basically. So as we have already used cold creams in our homes, but chemically, because we being chemists, we are now going to discuss that how what are cold creams actually and how we can synthesize them. When we talk about cold cream, then we have already studied the word, that is the emulsion. If you remember, then we said that emulsion is basically, it's a mixture of two things, like we have two immiscible liquids. You can say that these fluids, they are non you can say that they are not miscible into each other, and just like water and oil. So in one thing, you can say in one emulsion, there shall always be one thing that is lesser in quantity. So when we talk about emulsion of water in oil, it means that water is less in quantity, and then oil is the main, you can say that chemical or main solvent in there. So when we do like agitate, you can say that we shake this kind of mixture, then this is basically the water particles, you can say that water drops, they get suspended in the oil fluid, and this type of emulsion we call it as water in oil type. So cold cream is like basically water in oil type emulsion. So it is basically used as a moisturizer, and also some people, they also use it as a makeup remover and cleanser. So what is basically the purpose, why it is called cold cream? Because when we have water in there, and if you talk about, basically it is main component is oil, so it means that when we apply it on our skin, that we have some water droplets or moisture in there. So when the heat comes on our surface, or you can say that when water evaporates, so it gives us a cool feeling. So that's why we call this cream as cold cream. And the main component, you can say, are the emulsifying agent. This is basically borax or beeswax in that. And this is another thing, that when we apply it on skin, that lots of water evaporates to permit phase inversion, that is water in oil to water in oil type of thing. Right. When we are talking about cold cream, then when we say the uses of cold cream, one thing is that it gives us moisturizing feeling, that it protects us, or you can say protects our skin from getting dry. And the other thing is that it basically you can say, in other words, we can say that it is protective for the skin. And the formula, we have already said that it contains beeswax or borax. So it is said that when we first manufacture cold cream, to the mixture that is obtained, it has the oil in water. It is basically oil in water type of emulsion. Water is a major component, and oil is the serve as a, you can say that, solute type of thing. And then when we store this one, water evaporates and the phase inversion takes place, and then we get a water in oil type of inversion, and then emulsion, and then this creamy form, and this cream we call it as cold cream. And then we say that we have already talked that basically cold sensation is because of water evaporation, and then it also protective for the skin. And when we talk about cold cream, then there are certain characteristics that are, you can say, desirable, or that are very much, they should be present in a cold cream. They include that one thing that we have to talk about their chemical features, and the other thing we have to talk about their like the behavior and the outcome of using this cold cream. So when we talk about the basic nature of this cold cream, that its pH should be around 4.6 to 6, and this should be like consistency should be optimum, like it should be you can say that homogeneous in all its parts, and then it shouldn't be sticky, or it shouldn't give some very sticky appearance or sticky feeling, and it should give moisture to the skin, and it should be protective for the skin, and also it should give a very pleasant feeling, odor, you can say fragrance, and it should be attractive for the in appearance. So one and the other thing is that there should be some chemicals that enhance the, like they can cause like something whitening effect, or also you can say the softness of the skin. So it shouldn't be like non-irritant or non-inflammatory, and should cooling effect as per the definition of cold cream says. So these are all different desired features, you can say the features of an ideal cold cream. When we already know that what is cold cream, then let's discuss about the ingredients of cold cream. So cold cream, as we know that there are two basic ingredients that we already discussed, that one is the oil and one is the water, but there are plenty of oils available, and also we can say that if we can use different concentrations of water or oil. So we have to be precise that which kind of oil are good for skin, or which kind of oils are desirable, and which kind of oils basically can form emulsion with water. But the point is that we can also use some emulsifying agents. And let's talk about borax, that we already said that beeswax or borax, it is used as in this cold creams. So when we talk about borax, then basically it is used as an emulsifier. It means that it helps to to, you can say that, homogenize the dispersion of one miscible liquid into another, and it is responsible for the whiteness of cold cream. So these different borax has two these important function. And then we say that we can also use alcohol, glycine, or lanolin for this purpose, and these have different like alcohol can also be used for the miscibility, and glycine is also used for the moisturizing or the softness of skin. And when we say perfume, then perfume, it provides fragrance, of course, so it appeals to the customer, or you can say the user of that cold cream. And then talking about ingredients, as we have already discussed that we can use different mineral oils. So traditionally it is preferable that we use some naturally available waxes or vegetable oils, and for this thing there are natural waxes, and variety of natural waxes and vegetables are available. So these natural vegetables or waxes, they are mixed with borax and then stabilized with borax. Borax is basically the emulsifying agent here. So we say that with the turn of the century, you can say, when the time passed, then the synthetic oils or mineral oils can also, you can say, different mineral oils, they replace more unstable vegetable oils. So in these cases we say that proportion of fatty and oil material, it predominates, because as we already know, this is an emulsion of water in oil. So that's why the main component is the oily material. So to give the cool feeling, the evaporation of water is very important. And then when we say that mineral oil with up to 15% of petroleum jelly was very commonly used as in the cold creams, but nowadays mineral oil has replaced it in many of these application. So further different mineral oils are replacing the previously used conventional fatty acid esters such as isopropyl, myristate, and it improves the thixotropic behavior of the cream, thus improving its spreading properties. It means that thixotropic properties has something to do with the shear thinning effect. Shear thinning effect may be inorganic. Students may know it better, because shear thinning we have studied in the previous course too. That shear thinning is something that when you apply force in the direction of movement of some object, then we say that then the viscosity of that fluid, it decreases. So it means that when you apply cold cream and you apply the force in the direction of the movement of this cold cream, then the shear thinning effect is the viscosity, it decreases. So these type of different behaviors that they helps to settle the cream with the consumer. The basic procedure to synthesize a cold cream, it is very simple, and even it can be synthesized at home, but industrially too, you can say that basically the main procedure stays the same, because the main you can say the ingredients are like mineral oil, or you can say that we have water in there. So what we do that we have to heat the mineral oil and beeswax in a big vessel at 75 degrees Celsius, and we have to maintain this heat. So in another container, borax is dissolved in and preservatives are dissolved in water, and the heat you can say the contents are heated to 75 degrees Celsius too. So now we have two layers, you can say the two separate you can say that solutions, you can say that two separate mixtures here. One has the mineral or beeswax together, and they are heated. When they are heated, so they should be like fluid type of thing. And then when we talk about the other thing, then we have it like preservative and borax are dissolved in water. So these aqueous phase and the organic phase, you can say. So what we do that we add aqueous phase to the mineral oil beeswax. In this phase, when we pour it slowly, maintaining the temperature at 75 degrees Celsius, and then we heat the oily phase together, and then when we cool down this one to 35 degrees Celsius, and then we add perfume. So it is very simple basic procedure. So basic procedure of production is very simple for cold cream, we say. Right. Let's talk about the uses of cold cream. So uses of cold cream, we say that the best purpose was to like moisturize the dry skin. And then we say that basically why moisturizing, what it does that it helps to protect the skin. So typically, and another thing that it can be used is that it can be used to cleanse the face of makeup. Cleanse the face of makeup, like it means that it is used to clear skin from makeup actually, because it has a very good dissolving power. So it helps to dissolve all the makeup materials in it, and then we can easily like remove makeup by using some tissue or the like soft pad. And then another thing is that can be used for as a balm for dry cracked lips, like you can say, because it has a oily texture in it. So this oil helps to cover and protect the dry skin and give it moisture. So that's how cold creams can be used this way. So another interesting feature is that it can be used as a shaving cream alternative for men, like in emergency cases, if someone run out of like shaving creams, then it can be used to like soften. Basically the main thing is that it helps to soften the uh, like skin. So with moisture, it helps to avoid the abrasion or the resistance when the shaving is done. And then let's talk about the bleach cream. Basically bleach cream is very important, especially for us Asians, because our skin has a very you can say that strong melanin pigments, like they have basically melanin pigments are responsible for the color or tanning or the blackening effect of our skins. So our skin has already strong tendency towards tanning effect. So this bleaching or skin lightening creams or ointment, because the so-called beauty in our systems, it is considered to be the whitening one. So to remove or in an attempt to remove localized dark patches or melasma, or you can say as a fashion thing to reduce the melanin in skin, or to have this whitening effect, bleach creams are used. And basically what does this type of cream do that it we have lots of hair on our skin, so it helps to bleach them, or you can say that decolorize them. So after decolorizing, the overall look of the skin, it looks brighter, because lots of, like you can say, the blackening effect is gone. So an important color to skin is basically by the pigments, carotenes and also melanin. And bleach cream is also helps to reduce the melanin too. So melanin is responsible for the racial differences, like we call them like you can say that yellow skinned, you can say that black or white, or different types of breeds we have categorized according to the skin types. There are also different skin lightening cosmetics that are used to have the similar effect. But basically, what does cosmetics do? They help to improve the appearance and also the enhance the effectiveness of the user for the user, and not alter the basic structure of the skin. So bleach creams, they also help to improve, or they help to improve the aesthetic, you can say, the give the aesthetic thing to pleasant feeling to the consumer when they use it. Now let's have a look at which kind of ingredients are present in bleach creams. So mostly the ingredients that are present in bleach cream, they are mercury compounds. They could be hydroquinones, catechol and its derivative. They could be ascorbic acid and its derivative, and there could be some oxidizing agent, kojic acid, and as well as some opaque covering agent. There are lots of mercury based compounds such as mercury chloride or mercuric oxide, as well as the ammoniated mercury. They have been used widely for as a skin bleaching agent. But basically, one of these, that is the ammoniated mercury, was extensively used because ammonia itself has a like this decolorizing effect on the hair too, and also on the skin. So these mercury based compounds, they have been used extensively, but now these are prohibited from the use. Even they are strictly banned in US for skin whitening purpose. The reason behind this one is that these basically mercury compounds, they get dissolved, or you can say they can be absorbed by the skin and they accumulate there, and they can also when they dissolve in from the skin, and they are responsible for many different diseases for the kidneys and also for the skin. So that's why mercury, though it has short-lived advantages, but in the long run it is very dangerous for the skin. And two other very important ingredients of bleach cream, they are hydroquinone and catechols. Basically, hydroquinones are they also have this whitening effect or skin lightening effect. You can say they help to decrease the melanin exposure on the skin surface. So hydroquinone is the most favorite material which has been used so far. So the concentration that is used is basically almost 1.5 to 2%. But this is very sensitive thing, because if the concentration it get increased like up to 5%, it is very harmful for the skin. It can cause redness as well as burning effect. So also when it is exposed to sunlight or heating, then it is very it has bad adverse effect on the skin. And similarly, there is another chemical, that is catechol. Catechols are also organic in nature. They also help to lightening, for the lightening effect, but they are less effective than hydroquinones. And basically this 4-isopropyl catechol is the most potent depigmenting agent. So they are all skin lightening agent, and they say that the concentration, if it rises to 3% and more, then it can also cause skin burning effect, sensitizing agent. So it is very sensitive that we have to be precise in the formulations of these bleach cream. And then we have bleach cream other ingredients. Some of them are like we know that ascorbic acid and opaque covering agents. When we talk about ascorbic acid, then ascorbic acid is as the name suggests, that it is basically an acid, though it is very safe and doesn't seem to be very effective as pigmenting agent, but it is widely used because we have two things, that one thing is effect, and the other thing is the safety. So safety is always the priority, so that's why it is very much used, and it is used in skin bleaching creams containing hydroquinone as a stabilizer and antioxidant. So use of ascorbyl oleate, it has been reported in the concentration of 3% and 5% in cream for bleaching freckles in human skin. So these bleach creams, the main function, be it like ascorbic acid, be it catechol, or you can say that be it the other chemicals like mercury based compounds. So these all, they have lightening effect by controlling the melanin pigment or depigmentizations. So this helps to you can say that also decolorizing the hairs. So this is all helping to introduce the whitening effect, but the concentration is very important. So the concentration mostly it is kept below like 2%, but 3% and 5% are just like in this case. They are reported in case of ascorbyl oleate too. And then we have like opaque covering agent. Opaque covering agent, as the name suggests, basically what they do that they give the smoothness, or you can say that softness, and also the whitening effect to the skin. Like they have their own color, like just like when we talk about the talcum powder. So talc is basically is white, and it gives the soft and whitening effect. So, and the pale pigments such as titanium oxide, it could be zinc oxide, it could be kaolin, bismuth pigments. So these are all included in opaque covering agents. They help to change the color of skin, and hence these materials are mentioned in here. We have already discussed mercury-based compounds, the compounds for the bleaching effect or the whitening effect. But the point of talking about ammoniated mercury and hydrogen peroxide separately is because that these two compounds are basically the very you can say that basic or very important, very widely used compounds for the bleaching effect. If we talk about hydrogen peroxide, basically what it does that it oxidizes skin pigments, so it is a true bleaching agent. So as well as it is also when we have already talked about this thing too, that the hair, because the hair have a strong black color in our on our Asian skins, so it gives the more like enhanced tanning effect. So to lessen that effect or to lighten head hair, so these such types of compounds like hydrogen peroxide, it oxidizes these skin pigments, or you can say the pigments in hair too. So even if they remove stains from the fingernails and to lighten facial and other hair rather than removing the hair with like depilatory creams. So it means that hydrogen peroxide, it is an easier way instead of like very hard ways to remove hair themselves. So hair can also protect our skin. So these hydrogen peroxide can counter effect that thing. And when we talk about ammoniated mercury, the basic agent here is the ammonia, because it also reduces the production of sick pigment, and mercury is responsible for that. That is, they inhibit certain like there are enzymes or certain things that are affected by ammoniated mercury when it is dissolved in the skin. And also it has exfoliating effect, that is, it helps to open the pores on the epidermis. So it means that when the pores are open, that it helps in the effective absorption. So it means that it works as a depigmenter and a bleach as well as exfoliator. So it is very interesting, and it is very much widely used all over the world. And this is how you can make bleach cream in a small scale, or you can say the basic, even if it is industrial synthesis or production of bleach cream, then the basic steps involved are the same. That is in the very first step, that because you know that they are the main ingredients of bleach cream, they are mineral oil or petroleum jelly, or you can say that there should be some bleaching agent or whitening agent in there, and there should be some kind of solvent in there. So the oil and petroleum jelly to give it a softness, and you can say THG monostearate, that is the fatty acid or oil. So we mix these two things together and then heat them to 75 degrees Celsius, and then we heat in another container. Water is also heated to the same temperature, that is 75 degrees Celsius. In the very next step, these two things, that is the mixture of these oil and fatty acid, they are mixed with hot water. And then how it is done, that this is continuously mechanically stirred. So this is how we say that mix the organic phase with the aqueous phase. So this is done until the mixture it cools down to around room temperature. Then after the cooling down of this mixture, then we add certain other compounds like benzoyl peroxide. Peroxide is basically oxidant, that it is helps in the decolorization or depigmentation. And then glycerine and potassium epoxy, quinoline sulfate, and these three things are added. And then after that, this cream, we say that the cream is formed, and then we say that this cream basically it produces a certain slight burning effect on severely scar tissue. So it is advisable that bleach shouldn't be used on scar tissues, or you can say that if there are any blisters, or even if it is you get certain abrasive skin. So in that type of skin that is already that has already some effects, that's scar tissues, so it shouldn't be used on them because it can enhance this effect. So but it is not that much alarming, but it should be, if it is it gives you a very strong burning effect, then it is better or advisable to wash with water. So burning sensation, it stays for some time when it is bleached, and after the removal of bleach and washing, then this burning sensation, as you have already studied that we have discussed different ingredients of bleach cream as well as cold cream. So one thing is that make a list of ingredients of both cold cream as well as bleach cream, and then after you have listed them, then better that you can write the uses of these ingredients of both creams. And then the third thing that you have to do is that you have to look for the similarities among these creams on the basis of the ingredients, and also the differences on the basis of these ingredients as well as their uses of these ingredients.